Hello, it's Gary Hewitt here from Microshifting, and doing a little bit of the magic words today, where we're talking a little bit about magic words. So, for those of you that were at our event where we first trotted out the ancestral patterns, that kind of landed heavy for a few people, and we sort of figured out why. So, one of the challenges was that it's actually part of the Magic Words series. So we started with the Magic Words, and then we realized, well, the Magic Words need to be done on the root causes of things. And then from there, we realized that it's not only the root cause, but there could also be shock and trauma. So those are the current three levels of sort of how the Magic Words digs into things. So then when the ancestral patterns came along, we didn't realize it at the time, but it was actually just an extension of the magic words. It was kind of a missing piece that we've been looking for some time. So we can now envision this as those first three steps plus the direct ancestral patterns that you picked up. So in other words, your parents and possibly your grandparents, but mainly your parents, the things that you pick up from them directly. And then there's kind of a deeper ancestral lineage that comes in through the DNA. Things that will, isms they're sometimes called, right? So you may have a propensity for certain things. Now, I was watching a documentary the other day, and it was fascinating on how epigenetics actually sort of binds around the DNA, and then based on things that they haven't yet quite figured out, you can get those bindings to loosen or tighten, which turn on or off different parts of the DNA and the mechanisms that the DNA does. So this is kind of baked right in. So a lot of stuff that you got from your ancestors, you got through your DNA, and it doesn't matter how you frame it, whether you picked your ancestors based on who you choose to come through, and that would be a vibrational match or alignment, or just whether it's just the scientific view that you're just the descendant of descendants of descendants of descendants. In any case, you've got a set of DNA that you have to deal with, and the epigenetics is sort of the how you would deal with them. So I'm going to be putting together, at least that's the plan, some deeper magic words, but I'm not going to make them publicly available on the channel because they've proven to be very, very powerful, and I want them to be used in the right sequence. And I think there's some time that needs to be involved. I don't think it would be prudent to do 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I think that needs to be a sequence or a cascade that needs to be worked through. So I'm working out the details on that, and when it's available, of course, I'll let people know. But in the meantime, we will just continue on with our the typical magic words, the root causes of things, or the feelings. It's always related to the feelings about things. Working on those root causes, then the shock, and then the trauma that introduced those to you. So in other words, it's how strongly were those implanted. And it's always, you're running other people's software, and when it's implanted deeply, you're running it without realizing that you're running it. And that's half the challenge, is once you start seeing the patterns, all of this can be done by yourself. It just takes a lot of focus, a lot of work, especially when you're in the pattern. So rule number 1 is get out of the pattern first. Once you recognize that there is a pattern, get out of it before you try and do anything about it. Trying to fix it while you're in the pattern just doesn't work. So recognize the patterns, and then do whatever process works for you for breaking free from them. Because it's ultimately your choice as to what software you're going to be running, and you want to make sure that it's the software that you would choose consciously. and then you need to do that internal work to override the choices that were made for you before you were consciously aware that those choices were being made. All right, that's it for this message today. Thank you for listening, and I will see you in the next video.